Hi guys, I thought today I would do a video showing you my Christmas cookbook videos. Christmas cookbook videos. Christmas cookbooks. I love a cookbook. I'm not gonna lie, I love a cookbook. I am very easy to buy for like at Christmas, because I always love a cookbook, and they are very often the easy option for me. Like, people buy me quite a lot of cookbooks, so I love them. And I don't have that. I have a few Christmas cookbooks, not that many, as you'll see. Depends on your viewpoint on what's a lot, I guess. I love them. I love sitting down with a cup of tea or a little sherry or port or something as we get closer to Christmas and flicking through. I'm very much into the photography and the feeling and the vibe and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just really love like a cookbook flick through session. I probably look through my cookbooks far more than I ever cook from my cookbooks, if I'm honest, but you know. All the cookbooks I'm going to show you today, I recommend. So basically, I recommend them because they're in my collection. Any that I don't like or whatever, not too long ago, I had a cull of my cookbooks and I got rid of a load. I donated them to the charity shop because I just wasn't using them. A lot of them are quite meat heavy, and as a family, we are definitely vegetarian. We don't eat meat or fish. And we are almost vegan. Like, I don't buy butter, I don't buy cow's milk, we don't have that. But we're not like strict. So we will have like dairy milk chocolate and things like that. But we're always vegetarian. And a lot of cookbooks always have so many meat recipes in them that I can't use. Or a lot of the time I will vegetarianize or veganize them. So if a recipe says sausages in it, then I'll use like vegetarian sausages, that kind of thing. But some recipes you just can't convert. So yeah, so basically all the cookbooks that are in this Christmas cookbook collection are all ones I recommended because they all made the cull. They all remained at home and in the cull. So let's get on to it. So the first book I'm going to show you, I don't technically own yet. I am going to buy it because I do love it. And as soon as I get my Christmas spending money, I'm going to treat the family to the book. And that is this one, The Little Library Christmas by Kate Young. It's such a lovely little book. I just think it's such a nice size because a lot of cookbooks, so I've got a bit of a squeaky chair. A lot of cookbooks are just massive, huge, chunky affairs. And I love this one because it's small. It's not the only reason I love it, to be honest. So Kate Young, she is a blogger and she blogs about things that are close to my heart because she does things that we like to do too. So we will read books and we will extract stuff from the books to kind of like do recipes with. So when we reread for me Winnie the Pooh, we had a themed picnic and we did like crudités for Rabbit's Garden and honey sandwiches and ticker tails and things like that. And like in Swallows and Amazons, there was a seed cake, so we made a seed cake. And basically Kate Young kind of does the same sort of thing. She's inspired by books and creates recipes inspired by the books, and I guess that's why I loved it. And I also really like it because there's not many meaty recipes in here. I'd say hardly any at all, but there's some really lovely photography in here, which I do love. I do love photography, as I said, because I like to just sit and flip through, and photography kind of gets my hygge loving heart. I love the sound of this recipe, potted Stilton with rosemary and rye crackers. I think that sounds amazing. Apple, pear and chili chutney. Pickled sprouts, which I've never heard of before, but I really want to try. But like she has like a little ditty from each recipe. So like the pickled sprouts, has like a little ditty, and I'll read it to you so you can sort of see what we're working with here. So, Pickled Sprouts. There is, of course, a Sprouts recipe for Christmas Day on page 127, but as this is a book about Christmas, I decided I could get away with including 2. Right on, sister. I love Brussels sprouts. Though they have a checkered reputation, I adore Brussels sprouts. I long for an annual sprout festival like the one alluded to, albeit infuriatingly briefly, in Terry Pratchett's Hogfather. In lieu of this, I have dedicated myself to finding a way to include them in as many meals as possible. Pickling leaves them tender and full of flavour, perfect for serving alongside Bubble and Squeak, with soft cheeses on a cheese board or on their own straight from the jar. Oh my god, I really want to make this recipe because I think that would just be absolutely gorgeous. I love them, pickled sprouts. So yeah, although I don't technically own it yet, I have had this out of the library for like 2 months. I am going to buy it. So there. Okay. So next book I'm going to show you is a big old hunker chunker. Cooking for Christmas. Now this is edited by Martha Day because I think there are various like authors in it. This is one of those things like when I used to work in an office, they used to be like, I think it's the book people. They came round and they used to like bring a load of books for you to look at, and then you place your order and then come back, and they used to be like really reasonably priced. And they had this, and it wasn't long after I'd moved in with John back in the day. And so I bought it, and yes, it does have quite a lot of meat recipes in it, but I have also used it a lot. There's a lot of vegetarian recipes in here. One of my favourites that I do a lot is this Phyllo Vegetable Pie. I really like this book because, as you can see, it's got step-by-step photos, which is always really handy. Like the step-by-step instructions, I think, are pretty handy. Yeah, and it's just an all-round kind of good book. And there's like alcoholic drinks in here and various. I've made this before, the Christmas spirit. You can see I've got like a little note there against the page. I like it because it's got some classics. It's a classic kind of book because I sometimes find that the celebrity chefs, I sometimes find they over elaborate. They add extra poncy ingredients in that like that are expensive, or I'm always like, do we really need those? Or I don't know, I guess celebrity chefs are always trying to put their own take on it and do something different and wazzy snazzy and all that kind of stuff, which is great, don't get me wrong. I love that, I do, but sometimes I just want like family normal recipes without all the razzmatazz jazz. So yeah, this is a good all-round kind of classic family cookbook, I'd say. Okie dokie, the next one I picked up from a charity shop. Can't remember how much I paid for it or when. It's been in my collection for a long time, but yeah, I found it in a charity shop. It is Rose Elliott's Vegetarian Christmas. This is from the 90s, as you can tell. It's very vintage looking. 1992. Back in the day, if you were a vegetarian, Rose Elliott was where it was at. Everything was about Rose Elliott if you were a vegetarian. Very vintage, which I kind of love. I love like 80s and 90s books because they always transport me back to my childhood, which was a very happy childhood, very happy Christmases. So it invokes those kinds of memories. So the photography in here is like very vintage, very of its time. There's a classic one here that I just don't think would make the cuts these days. It makes me giggle because it's quite sweet, really. Like kind of like a deranged looking angel. They're probably not fancy enough for modern day cookbooks, I wouldn't have said, but you know, there's a couple of like really classic kind of things in here. See if I can find. Oh, can't beat a good bit of piccalilli, can you? Like this just to me just sort of screams early 90s, late 80s to me. But it is a good book. As I say, it is vegetarian. So for your vegetarians out there, it's great. For your vegans out there, it is quite easy to veganize, substitute cow's milk for plant milk, that kind of stuff. It's got some kind of cute little recipes in here as well. Like I'm going to do this with my kids this year. Little Father Christmas pizzas. They're quite cute, aren't they? I think they're cute. But yeah, so it's very... how 80s is that? A roulade party. Not any roulade. It's a party roulade, guys. But yes, I really do like it. It's simple. It's classic. It's a classic. It is a classic. And talking of classics, we're going to move on now to the classic Christmas. Delia Smith. I'm a Delia Smith fan. I do have a few of her books. Even though they are meaty, I do have them. Now, Delia Smith's Christmas, this edition is 92, I think, I want to say. 94, something like that. 1990. And I remember there was a TV series to accompany this book, and I always used to watch it with my mum. It came on the TV, and for a while, like watching Delia at Christmas is Christmas to me. That is Christmas. In the same way, like Fanny Craddock. Do you remember Fanny Craddock? I used to like watching Fanny. She was a hoot. Fanny Craddock's Christmas and Delia Smith's Christmas, when they were on the TV, because they were repeated a lot, when they were on the telly, then you knew it was Christmas. So pretty. Once they were on, you knew it was Christmas. And I did find a few kind of like hooky copies of it on YouTube, which have now been taken down. But I've recently discovered that Delia Smith this Christmas one, is on Amazon Prime. So I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna treat myself to that, because it's not Christmas without Delia. She is Christmas. So I don't use this book all that much because of the sheer amount of meaty things in here. But I've got a shopping list in here. But I always use good old Delia for my Christmas cake. The classic Christmas cake. You see, I've got splotches like all over. Always use Delia for my Christmas cake, and she's got a variety of different Christmas cakes in here. If you were a meat eater and you were hosting a vegetarian, basically, like unlike Rose Elliott, basically, if you were hosting a vegetarian, you were like, okay, they don't eat meat, therefore they must eat cheese. So the vegetarian recipes in here are seriously cheese heavy. A terrine with 4 cheeses. That's just cheese. So I don't tend to use the recipes particularly. Cheese and parsnip roulade with sage and onion stuffing. Can't beat a roulade. They did love a roulade, didn't they, back in the day? Roasted red peppers stuffed with fennel. That's nice. I have made that before. So it does have some nice recipes in there. It is the classic, It is the classic for your classics. It's a classic for your classic Christmas classics. Can't think of anything else to say other than classic, so let's move on. Not technically Christmas, but related because it's seasonal. I also have the Delia's Winter Collection. Hardly used it, to be honest, but I've kept it because I'm a Delia fan, and I feel like I should revisit this year because it hasn't seen as much love as it should. But it sits with my other Delias. I've got Delia's Summer and I've got Delia's How to Cook collection. So yeah. Gotta love a bit of Delia, so let's throw her in because she's winter. Modernising a little bit more now, going on to the celebrity chefs. Nigella, massive book, this one, so super heavy. As I said about the photography, I need to move it. I love this one because of the photography and the aesthetics in it. I remember watching the TV series when this came out. Really enjoyed that. I know we weren't in this house when that came out, so let's see how old this book is in the series, because I can't remember. 2008. Wow. 2008. Um, but yeah, I really like this book. I do love the photography in it. A bit of a yule log. And there are some nice recipes in here, which I have used quite a lot. Just trying to find you something to show you. There's a pumpkin. Yes, here we go. Pumpkin recipe. Really in depth, but it's amazing. Roast stuffed pumpkin with gingery tomato sauce. It's a showstopper. It is a showstopper. Look at it. It's delicious. Yeah, so a lot of meaty things in here, but equally a lot of nice. There's a lot of nice stuff in here too. A lot of nice recipes. You do have that kind of like celebrity twist on some of the classics. You know, they've been pimped up, as it were. Chestnut chocolate pots. Oh, sounds so delicious. Yeah, so I've cooked quite a lot of recipes from this book. Girdle Buster Pie. I do love a Nigella. I've got Nigella Express, and I've also got Nigella, how domestic goddess. Roast squash and sweet potato soup with buttermilk blue cheese swirl. Yes, so I do recommend this book because it is a winner tofu dinner for me. I love that. And a new acquisition this year. A friend of mine, her son was having a yard sale, and I bought this off them for 50p, I think it was. Jamie Oliver's Christmas cookbook. So this is new to me this year. Again, I am a big fan of Jamie. I watched like the Jamie programs. I've got like his Italian, and I've got the Naked Chef and things like that. So I do like Jamie. This is a hunker chunker again. Lots of meat, lots and lots of meat in here, but equally some really nice other recipes as well, and some gorgeous photography, which is why I keep it. Look at this wonderfully traditional tree. So I'm back to front all the time. There we go. Yes. Like pork and rice salad. Well, you can substitute that, you know. But yeah, some like really lovely photography. Piccalilli, can't be a bit of piccalilli, a bit of pear pickle. Florentines, good old fashioned gingerbread. Loves me some gingerbread. Mince pie strudels. Mince pie strudels. Love a strudel. Love an apple strudel. Do love an apple strudel. So yeah, so it's as I say, it's a new one. Do really like it so far. I might have a go at this year. Cracker ravioli, spinach pasta, sweet squash, chestnuts, sage, and ricotta. My Christmas books, I don't necessarily treat them as Christmas per se. I treat them as winter, like the winter season, because you know, like it's just wholesome, warming comfort food, you know. Okay, so the very last book isn't technically a Christmas book at all, okay, but I use it in conjunction with Christmas, so therefore I'm including it, and that is this one. Preserves and Pickles. I like to make my own chutneys. I like to dabble with jams as well, but I'm pretty crap at making jam, if I'm honest. I try, but I'm not so good at it. We have an allotment, and we also grow our own veg at home as well, so we have quite a like gluts and surpluses and things. You may have seen a video. I did a video on making courgette chutney already. So I like to make chutneys and things to put away for Christmas, and also I have been known to gift them at Christmas as well. So yeah, I'm including this. So if you like to get in on the whole chutney action, then I do recommend this book. That being said, all of the books that I've shown you so far do also have a little smattering of chutneys in them too. So if you just want to dabble your toes in the water, then maybe not this book. But if you really want to go for it with your preserves and pickles, then this book is definitely a good one to get. I do like it. I've got a couple of other ones, preserves ones. I've got a River Cottage preserves one. I've got a Dick Strawbridge one, and I've got a Clarissa Dickinson Wright one. But this one, is it funny? The non-celebrity one is the winner for me. I think it's a good one. And it's all kind of like, you know, broken down. So there we go, guys. That is my cookbook collection. I do have a couple of other books that I'd like to get, and stuff. I can't remember the names of them now. But yeah, I do have a couple of other Christmas cookbooks I'd like to get at some point, over time, you know. But yeah, that's what's in my current collection. All very happy with them. All really super love them. So I hope you enjoyed having a look at them as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.